Sharing my faith story means sharing with you the people in my life that have been an integral part of my faith journey. I have always thought of God's gift of faith as not just given to me, but also embodied in the people who walk with me on life's journey. I was born 10 weeks too early and weighed only 3.5 pounds. As I laid inside an incubator with wires and tubes, my mom tells me she prayed over me every day, over and over again. God has a purpose for you in your life, Shera. Each time I went through a rough patch with friends or school or life, my mom would put a small handwritten note in my lunch bag or in my room, always in her beautiful cursive handwriting that stated, God has a purpose for you in your life, Shera. She still texts me this to this day. She believes in me, and she believes in God's work in my life, even when I feel like I might not believe in myself or in a God that created me. I have always felt more at peace when she would state with matter-of-fact certainty her trust in the things that God was up to. My mom is the first and primary nurturer of my faith, and she is one who inspires me even to this day. And then there is Beth. Beth is my best friend. She is also a deacon in the ELCA. I met Beth when I was in college and involved with Lutheran campus ministry at MSU Moorhead. She was working for Concordia College with college students and came over to LCM part-time. As I got to know her and heard about her sense of call to serve God, at 18 years old, I remember thinking, if I could be anything when I grow up, I want to be Beth. Beth has a listening ear, a keen sense for people's gifts, and how to invite them into ministry to share their gifts. She also has an articulate perspective on how to serve God as a deacon with one foot in the church and one foot in the world. Beth has continued to inspire me as not only now that I'm a deacon, but also as a mom, as a woman of faith for the past 16 years. And then I'd like to tell you about Renee. She and I attended seminary together at Wartburg in Iowa, but our stories were woven together much earlier than that. We were baptized at separate times, unbeknownst to us, in the same exact font at a tiny little church in Garrison, North Dakota. We are distantly related. Her grandpa married my grandma's sister, and if that's not North Dakotan, I don't know what is. So we're all related, right? And yet, we really didn't become good friends until while she was serving as a pastor at Heart River Lutheran Church in Mandan. She had a vision for a deacon to serve in a call that had one foot in the church, that also happened to be at a correctional facility, and one foot in the outside community. In my first call as a deacon, Renee and I became partners in an ever-changing, difficult, and transformative ministry. Working with the congregation and with the students at the Youth Correctional Center, we simply had to laugh and cry together. I feel like my faith grew the most during this period. I don't know if that's possible, but God was certainly working there. It was hard and beautiful work. Renee was quick to give me opportunities to use my gifts and passions. Renee is a woman of deep faith, and she, though, had been through a deep personal tragedy and yet continued to inspire me and others with her ability to see God at work in even the darkest of circumstances and to cling to hope. She has been a part of my journey as I live into my call as a deacon and continue to practice that purpose that my mom is so certain about, God's purpose for me in the church and in the world. With inspiration from these steadfast women in my life and so many others, I have cried and stumbled, wandered, sang, and danced in the beauty of God's grace that gives me faith for each day. Like the women who come to the tomb in their grief but leave rejoicing that Jesus is risen. These women in my life, my mom, Shelley, my friends, Beth and Renee, have proclaimed to me the good news. They have brought me reassurance of faith, a heart for serving God, serving my neighbor. They have paved a way of faithful leadership before me so that I might be empowered to live into God's purpose in my life that is still yet unfolding and continues to be rooted in a faith that is not just my own, but is nurtured by all those around me.